Hi, I'm Diane, your host of Epic Conversations, and we're back again with Greg Smith. He's the director of New Horizons Foundation, and he has some great stories, great testimonies, and for the last 8 years, he has many wonderful things to share. So today, we are going to talk about why retire when you can refire? And that's what we're going to talk about today, because you still have a lot in you that God put in you, and He can use that for the benefit of others. So thank you for joining us. And thank you, Greg. We're having some great conversations. Awesome. It's just wonderful to have you on the show.
Thank you, Diane. I really appreciate it, and I'm really blessed to be here and to share this time with you, so thank you.
Oh, thank you. So we are not retiring, right, Greg? We are refiring. God has many wonderful things in store. And we were talking about giftings that God's placed in us. I mean, the world thinks, okay, we got to retire at, 65, I don't know, maybe 70 now, but whatever it is. Why?
I like what you said about refire and not retire.
That's right.
That's a very good point. I mean, we think about, okay, what are we going to do? Slow down, have more free time on the calendar, get to do what I want today and tomorrow and the next day. I've heard every day is Saturday, people get really excited about retirement. But what if they thought about it in a different way? So I work at New Horizons Foundation as a director of outreach, and we're an umbrella nonprofit and have lots of different, we're public charity. We have lots of different charitable partners out there. Some of our charitable partners are those people. And maybe they're not 65, maybe they're 42, and they sold their business, their IT business, and were very successful, or their landscape architect business at 50, and they have enough money for the rest of their life. What do? And then there's a lot of people, of course, they are retiring. Hey, I need to work until I'm 65. I need to work till 67 or 62 or whatever it is. And then I'm going to step back and get that Saturday, everyday experience, right? So we've been really thankful to see some of our partners that had this fire in them. What could I do? Mm-hmm. And let me tell you a couple stories, and we can talk about that more. But think about a pastor in South Dakota.
Okay.
Been a pastor for 45 years.
Wow.
Ready to step down from the pastoral role because it's a really running a business in some ways. It's busy 7 days a week. You have a lot of ministry things that you're doing. You're shepherding. You're actually running a business. And you have people you have responsibility to, and you have all these areas that you're functioning in. And God's calling you out of that. And then what are you going to do next? And this example of this pastor said, what am I going to do?
That's a good question.
And thought about what's my best gifting. And it's teaching. It's teaching the Word of God and empowering others so that they can teach others also.
Oh, that's good.
So that'd be a seminary professor, if you will, in some vernaculars, or some type of professor like that, but really didn't want to do that. He started sharing what he wanted to do with others, and that story landed in Uganda by God's providence. And they said, well, Pastor, would you come over here and teach a few men? Because they not only are sharing Bibles, they may have, amongst 3 villages, they're sharing one Bible and trying to learn, but they don't have any training, and yet they're pastoring these churches and these little communities and villages throughout Uganda. So he goes over there. How many people showed up? 200 pastors.
200? Wow.
He thought maybe there'd be 10. 200 pastors, and he got them for a week to begin sharing with them about how to learn and teach the Word of God.
That tells me something. He was willing to go.
He was.
For 10 or 20 people.
Yes. He wasn't planning, as a retired pastor from South Dakota, to fly to Uganda.
Wow. But he was open-minded too.
He was.
Open to what else God would have for him. Now that's a step of faith. After 45 years, he's done the same thing with the same people in his church. To make a new thought, that took courage.
Yeah. But he was operating in his gifting and he loves it. He's delighted. Imagine if we thought like this.
Mhm.
What if those that are that know Jesus, that are ministry minded, thought like this, that maybe I want to peak at 80 in my ministry, that may be the greatest years of impact. Now, he's not quite 80 yet, but he's on his way. And over the years, what's happened? Uganda has now become Philippines, Indonesia, other countries. So now he's traveling throughout the world from time to time throughout the year. And the groups are growing.
How exciting.
Yes, and he's empowering these individuals. And of course, with now with the internet, he can continue to disciple and encourage these pastors.
Wow, what a powerful testimony.
Isn't that something?
That's good. Tell us another one. Tell us more.
Let's pick on the business guy who has a great business in California. Literally one of the top Southern California landscape companies out there.
Mm-hmm.
And his claim to fame is, hey, guess what? I will get the job done on the day I say I'm going to get the job done.
Oh.
So if it's 11 o'clock at night and we got lights and everything, we're going to get the job done on that Friday or whatever day it is.
That's a good work ethic.
Incredible. What if he's able to sell that business for a lot of money? Now still a fairly young man, and what do you do next? And so his grandpa taught him about generosity
Mm-hmm.
and how to help others through his little business that he had, and sharing that and sharing what they made with others.
Oh.
So what if I took that to another level? What if I took that to the nations and the world?
Oh.
This idea of generosity
Mm-hmm.
and the gospel. And so that's what he did. And today he's working more than full time. Busier maybe than he wants to be, and he is sharing this message, and not only sharing it, but doing it in very strategic ways, and in strategic situations through social media and other venues out there. And what a message for today, right?
Oh, yes.
We need that. That generosity is incredibly important. So we think about pastors and individuals. What if we change what we're thinking when we're heading towards retirement?
Mm-hmm.
Retirement doesn't show up in the Bible.
You're right.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It's not in there.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe God ever wanted us to retire.
Yes.
He wants us to refire, to continue to press on. I mean, Jesus, we could talk about him all day.
Exactly.
But to share and just continue to make an impact with others, that's powerful. That's very, very good. Yeah. So I guess we're not retiring, huh?
That's right.
Oh, and you're not going to retire either. No, just kidding. Think about refiring. Think about what else God would have for you to do with your life. There's so much more when you listen on the inside and read His Word to see what He has to say for you. And He has a good plan. God knows the plans He has for you. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. And it's good. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next time. Stay tuned because we have some more episodes coming up with Greg. And in the meantime, share the channel, subscribe, and have an epic day in the Lord.